They're going to be amazed. This is our second week in a row where we've done a proper release. We've been a bit sketchy recently with on-ride POVs and stuff, but this is a real video. Hello and welcome to
Baz and
Coaster Dad. We are here today, I think we said it last time out, we're here today to do our top 10
coasters.
Top 10 roller coasters in the whole world that we've done. We're just a small bit of the world, but you know, this is what we think are the current top 10 coasters that we have been on. Yes?
Yes.
We're going to be high energy in this one. Right then, top 10 coasters, really tricky stuff. There's been a lot of coasters that have come along in the last few years, and we've been on a load of new ones. We've been to new parks, haven't we? What did we go to last year?
Did we go to Fantasia? No, that was 2023, wasn't it?
That's when we last did our top 10, I think. We've definitely been to Europa Park and Emerald Park since we last did a top 10.
Yeah.
And I think we may have been to Park Asterix since we last did a top 10 too. So we're going to rattle through the first 5 of these. We'll probably just back them back and forth. We won't talk about anything unless there's only one of us done it or we both got to... You know how we do these things. Yeah. We talk about them together when we get to the highest ranking. So,
let's do it.
Number 10 for Baz.
Black Mamba.
Black Mamba? Let me check my list. We're talking about that later, buddy.
Yeah.
That's higher up my list. And my number 10 is Fina Force. Have you got Fina Force on yours? I'll just check. You don't, so we better talk about Fina Force. Fina Force, new for 2024 at Emerald Park near Dublin, Ireland. It's the best roller coaster in Ireland as far as I can tell. And I've been on the other large coaster in Ireland, which is Cuchulainn at the same park. Fina Force is definitely the better of the two rides. Suspended thrill coaster from Vekoma. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy fun. You're going over bunny hops. It's pretty good, isn't it?
Get ready! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm drooling! I'm crying! Oh my goodness! Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh my goodness! Yeah! This is so good!
Did you love that bit where we went right up to it first thing in the morning? Everyone else went and queued for Cuchulainn. And how many rides did we get going around in the morning on it without a queue?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3.
I think we got 3 before we went, that's enough, we'll come back later. And then we got another 2 or 3 later on. We got front rows, we got back rows, we got middle rows. It's the best experience of a coaster on the first time we rode it I think I've ever had, because we got to ride it again and again. We got to ride it everywhere, yeah?
Yeah, I think our row setup was 1, 4, 10.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, we might have got a front row as our first ride. It certainly is our first or second. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a cute little coaster to look at, but actually it does pack a little bit of a punch, and it is better than some B&M inverts we've been on. You will not be seeing Nemesis Inferno on either of our lists. I think Fina Force is better than Nemesis Inferno. You don't have Fina on your list. Is it better than Nemesis Inferno?
Oh, yeah, definitely, by miles.
By miles, yeah. So yeah, if you haven't gone out to Dublin yet, get out to Dublin, ride that. Ride Cuchulainn, it's an experience. The second ride we had on it was a hell of a lot better than the first ride. It was quite janky in the morning. I got more of a sense of it the second time round, a bit further forward in the train. A bit less brutal. But let's not talk about Cuchulainn, it's not in the list.
Yeah.
What's your number 9, Baz?
Swarm.
That's not on my list. Talk about the Swarm.
Right. So the Swarm, it was my very first coaster that got me into coastering. And doing this sort of thing. And also, it's a really good wing coaster.
It's the only wind coaster I've been on, but it is a good one. We are going on another wind coaster this year.
That's not the only wind coaster you've been on.
Is it not? Mayhem. Oh, I forget about Mandrill Mayhem. That is a fantastic point. I completely forget it even exists. Yeah, it's not on our list. Okay, so the Swarm is the best wind coaster we've been on. And later this year we'll have been on 3. I'm not telling you which one now. But yeah, I love the Swarm. Like, you'd been on Nemesis and a few other things before you went on the Swarm, hadn't you? But like, you'd been on Nemesis and kind of got fixated on how scared you were on a lift hill, and that's what you'd remembered, got a bit stressed about. And it took another year or so before you gave the Swarm a chance, and the Swarm was the one. Swarm got you going on everything, didn't it? After that, there's not really been much fear.
Yep.
Except maybe Ice Blast at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. That one, you've been on that once and you've said like never again, but maybe now it's getting renewed. Can you tell Baz is a bit tired during this record?
I'm sorry.
Like, it's okay. He's just like, he's well out of sorts because he's been like staying up late because it's the holidays at Christmas. And you're just a bit discombobulated, right? Because we had to get up early this morning to go and get our crisp new haircuts for the new school year. Yeah. Anyway, my number 9 is Fly, but that's higher up the list. So what's your number 8?
Fly.
Oh, we can talk about Fly now. Great. It's at Phantasialand near Cologne in Germany. Well, we won't say what we think of Phantasialand yet because we're going to do a video about that soon. You're going to hear our top 5 parks now. We've been to more parks. But yeah, Fly is so well themed. I think that's the thing I've got to say about it. The theming.
Yeah, very good. Oh, also, yeah, the really switch way, it turns you into the station. It's like, you're like this. And then you're like...
Yeah, the way, when you come out of the station, you're in a seating position and you rotate into the flying position just in time. And then again, when you get back at the other end, you're not stuck there because most of you, if you're in the UK, and most of the people who like and subscribe to this channel, do that. It genuinely helps. And it'd be good to get a little bit bigger in 2025, just to have a bit more fun. But yeah, most of the people who have ridden both Air and Fly, they'll tell you, like, Air is really uncomfortable compared to Fly. Fly is a much more comfortable coaster. Your mum doesn't really like either, but for people who like one or the other, it's generally Fly that's the better one. The layout's much better. You know, there's a 20-year gap between those roller coasters for a reason. Fly is just a much better piece of equipment, and we're all hoping to see more Vekoma flying coasters in the near future because it's a piece of serious tech. And my one worry is that you'll never see one themed as well as the one at Phantasialand. Big steampunk vibes, right? And there's steam coming out everywhere. Yeah, the queue line's amazing.
Really good coaster.
Really good coaster. And do you like the way that they've set up the staff and the lockers and stuff, all that bit walking through?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned Fly like this, I'm thinking of changing the next one.
Are you thinking of changing the next one?
Yeah, with it.
Well, that's going to be bold then, but I'd better talk about my number 8 first, yeah?
Yeah.
My number 8, Park Asterix, B&M Suspended Coaster, Osiris. It's very blue, it's very yellow, it's very good, it's quite long, it's much better than Nemesis Reborn. It's a really good suspended coaster, great invert. B&M inverts are really good. The best of them are the best of them still, though I could see Vekoma coming and taking that sometime soon because Vena Force is so good. But Osiris is just beautifully themed to that Egyptian Asterix theme. The show they do underneath it is great. The ride is fantastic. It's not a terrain coaster like Nemesis. And you see the difference because of that. It's got some great elements. There's a really good Immelman on it. There's amazing swooping over the, or under the waterfalls and the water features there. Yeah, it's got all kinds of elements. My only regret about that ride, which could see it bumped up further, is that we never got a front row on it, because I think B&M invert front rows, because you're in that 4 package, it's quite hard to see out of the coaster and get the full feeling of it unless you're on the front row. So I'd love to go back and get that front row. You never know, it could be better than some of the other rides above this. What do you think of it?
We're going to have a chat later.
We're going to have a chat about Osiris later, are we?
Yep, about the Nemesis Reborn thing.
Okay, so are we going to go to 7?
Yeah, we're going to go to 7.
Going to go to 7. So what's your 7, dude?
Oh, can I swap those?
You can swap it out, yeah. What are you going to call it?
So, I was going to... 7 was going to be 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I've recently thought maybe I should swap the 8th one, which is Fly, and 13.
So let's say that 13 was your 8 and Fly was your 7. Okay, fair enough. So tell us about 13, your new number 8.
It's pretty good, but like it's great with people that haven't been on it.
Yeah, we were talking in our last video about how we recently went on it with friends, and going on it even with strangers who haven't been on it is always good, right? Mm-hmm. And that backwards launch section, even though it's a tyre launch, it's got some force to it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, we just gave away the fact there's a backwards launch on that ride. Spoilers, man. Spoilers. That's not even the biggest spoiler, so don't worry. If you haven't been on it, go on it. Any more to say about 13? It's got quite a good indoor bit of the queue line. I can't stand the outdoor bit. It goes on forever.
Oh, the indoor bit has plasma ball.
Yeah. But I tell you what, it's got single rider now, and while we haven't been able to use that yet because we went on with our friends, from now on, 13 is a single rider only ride. Oh, you've done it a little bit, haven't you, single rider? But I haven't. Yeah, 13 is now going to be a single rider ride, so next year it's going to be transformed for me. I won't have to queue in that massively long queue it always has.
Yay!
Oh, my number 7 is also at Alton Towers, where 13 is, and that is Wicker Man. I love Wicker Man. It is a really good wooden coaster. It is underrated. I know that there are punchier wooden coasters out there, but with the exception of Tonnerre de Zeus, where I didn't like the trains, I haven't really, and maybe Cuchulainn, I haven't really been on a punchier one that I liked. Wicker Man, well, maybe one. Wicker Man is just a great family ride, and it's good to see little kids going on something quite exciting. It's got some good little pops of airtime through it. It's one of the better airtime coasters in the UK, actually. Yeah, I love it. It's just always good, and it gives such amazing night ride. Just the best night ride, and it's a night ride we can access really easy because it's in our country. It's near to where our family live. Wicker Man, always good.
Sixth.
What's your 6th, Baz?
Wicker Man.
Yeah, well, that's good. We've already started talking about it. That's why I started talking about it.
Yep. The station's really good as well. And also, at Scarefest, it has a scare maze next to it, which is completely free. We love free scare mazes. And very good.
You like Bob?
Yeah, I like Bob.
You like the dark pre-show?
I like dark pre-show.
He didn't used to. He was scared when he was 6 or 7 when he first went on that pre-show in the dark. But I think that pre-show is the one thing on the ride that might not be completely family friendly. Everything else kids can cope with, but that pre-show will freak you out, won't it?
Yep.
But yeah, gotta love Wicker Man. What is my number 6? My number 6 is the one B&M invert I've got above Osiris, and that is Black Mamba at Phantasialand. And Black Mamba, we look forward to doing more B&M inverts. We've only done a few, but Black Mamba's really, really good. It's just an amazing B&M invert. It's a terrain coaster. We were lucky enough to be front row on it, which was great on our first ride, and we've had a few rides on it. And yeah, it hugs the ground. It feels so fast. It's got a couple of extra inversions, a few extra elements compared to Nemesis. It's like Nemesis, but better, if I'm honest. I think it's better. I'm not sure it's better themed now. Nemesis Reborn's theming has come up, but when we rode on it, it was so much better themed than Nemesis. And yeah, it's just a really, really, really top-notch B&M. They've packed it into a small space, much like Nemesis, and that has been the making of that ride. Keeping those things low to the ground makes them feel so fast and so exciting. I absolutely love Black Mamba. If you haven't been out to ride it, get out to Fantasyland. Very accessible park, lots of fun. Number 5, we've got the same ride. What is it?
Tutatis.
Tutatis. It's an Intamin. It's an Intamin Blitz coaster. It's so fast. It's all about the launches. Forwards, backwards. It has a forwards, backwards launch with a bunny hill in the middle. What are your favourite bits of it, Baz?
My favourite bits of it is the boomerang bit.
The bit where you're up on the spike looking down. Yeah.
And
the back and forth over the launches. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those bits are good. I do like the out and back section and all the little upside down inversion-y bits there. They're quite a lot of fun. Feel a bit scary on that first inversion after the hat, the top hat, but yeah, like that launch back and forwards is what makes the ride.
Yeah, at the end as well, you get a little bit of airtime.
You do, as you come up onto the thing, and you get to look down on the queue, and every time we rode it, the train were clapping at the end, and they were normal people, they weren't necessarily enthusiasts. It was the middle of the season. Yeah, Tutatis is a fantastic ride, totally worth getting out to Park Asterix, and Park Asterix is a great park as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's our number 4. Baz, what's your number 4?
Number 4, Voltron.
3, 2, 1, go! Oh my god!
Voltron Navara at Europa Park. The Max Striker coaster, the only one in the world at the moment until later this year. Tell us about it.
It's got a lot of good parts. Like I like the station. Has like a little travel bit.
Yeah, we won't give too much away about that bit because it is a nice surprise if you don't know already. What about the theming?
Oh, amazing!
Really amazing building. Really amazing animatronics in there that are good. And most of all, they've got a musical thing which is unlike anything else musical I've ever come across. It lives up on the ceiling and it's electrifying as a performance. Oh. Shall we leave it at that?
Yeah.
Another little surprise for you. But yeah, it's not my favourite coaster. It's not made my top 10. It does seem to be quite a Marmite coaster from looking at people's reactions, doesn't it? People either really love it or they think it's good but not great. Like there's nothing in between. Some people are putting it as their number 1 in the world, and then other people are saying, yeah, it's a 7 out of 10 kind of a coaster for the rest of us. But yeah, you're either comfortable on it or you're not, I guess, and it does come down to how comfortable it is because it has had a bit of a rattle. But you love it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for a little while, Baz was talking about it as his number 1, but it's not quite there anymore. Let's talk about our number 3s. We've got the same number 3, haven't we?
Yep. Stealth.
Stealth at Thorpe Park. There are not many coasters that can accelerate like that left in the world. A lot of them are gone. Dodonpa went last year, which was a real shame. I would have desperately wanted to go on that. Acceleration is my thing for a long time. Stealth was my favourite ride in the UK. And before that, my favourite ride. Yeah. What's that launch like, Baz?
That launch is so intense at the front row that both of us go like this.
I did manage on my most recent ride to keep my hands up and my eyes open. It's the first time in about, 15 years of riding it. Stealth is worth a trip to Thorpe Park on its own. Thorpe Park didn't need Hyperia to make you want to go there. And now that there are so few of those type of rides left, and some of them are Rita and Desert Race, which don't go up in the air and don't have as much interest, that launch, that Top Hat, that Bunny Hill is a 10-second combination, but what a 10 seconds. It's an amazing ride. It's worth visiting the UK just to go on Stealth. It's underrated in terms of how good it is. It's brief, but it is absolutely brilliant. You should be here. You should be trying it out. If you live in the UK, go down to Thorpe. It's totally worth it just for that. I know you're going for Hyperia, but don't miss out on Stealth. What is your number 2, Baz?
Nemesis Reborn.
Nemesis Reborn, which, as I said, didn't make my list, but you really do love it as your favourite invert. Tell us about Nemi.
Right. Has 3 things that I love about it. Theming, ride mechanics, and like audio stuff.
Oh, the build up to going on it, the whole soundtrack thing. Yeah.
And that
loop.
Yeah, that loop.
The loop, the corkscrew, the 0G roll, they're all good.
Yeah.
I've got nothing against Nemesis. I think Nemesis is great. It's down there somewhere in my 10 to 20, I would guess. I just think it's been overtaken by other inverts since, which is no surprise. It was the second one ever made. It was an early example. And it is top tier among B&M inverts regardless, because it's got that terrain thing going on that's different from all the others. The theme and the story are kind of the best thing about it, and they've done an amazing job bringing it back to life as Nemesis Reborn and doubling down on that theme. I do not dislike Nemi. I think Nemi's great. It's just not in my top 10. But yeah, it's been fantastic this year. This year we got to go behind the scenes, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been in the sheds. We got to pretend we were ride ops. Shut the restraints literally imaginary people. One of the greatest things. We can't talk about my number 2 because my number 2 is your number 1. What's your number 1 coaster, Baz?
Hyperia.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I told you.
We've got over an hour. We've got just over an hour. There she is.
Just there.
I know.
Hyperia at Thorpe Park. That is my number 2. I feel I've been on a better coaster, which Baz doesn't even rate in his top 10. So there you go. Difference and opinion between even family members can exist, and it is fun to talk about these things. And I'm sure you've got different ideas about what your top 10 are. And if you want to drop them in the comments, would you like to read those, Baz?
I'd love to read the comments.
We're letting him read the comments a bit more now. He hasn't read them as much in the past. I picked them out, but he's getting there. He's a teenager. He can read the comments and he can cope with it. But let's be kind in the comments. So yeah, tell us your top 10s. Genuinely want to hear them. But Hyperia. Why is it your number 1?
It is my number 1 because it's very high. Tallest one in the UK.
Second tallest one you've ridden, right?
Yep. Oh no, first one?
No, Silver Star at Europa Park is taller than Hyperia.
Oh, what? Yeah. It's just like, it goes very fast as well down that first drop.
That first drop is amazing.
Does the spin?
Spins, drops, vertical, lap bar only. Feel like you're going to fly out of your seat with your hands up in the air, because some of us are brave enough to do it with our hands up in the air, aren't we, Baz?
And the part where you're stuck upside down.
The stall is amazing. You're floating there, 0G, looking down on people, because the right thing to do is to look up while you've got your hands in the air, hanging out of your chair. But you're not hanging, you're floating. Goes on for, well, I'd say about a year, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, you're upside down for about a year. And then you can, just like Stealth, its sister coaster there at Thorpe Park. It is brief but brilliant, and I'm so glad to see a Mac in our top 10s. And your number 1 is now a Mac. I've never had a Mac in my top 10 before, so well done, Mac. It hasn't got. I haven't got Voltron in mine, but Baz has got 2 of yours. You've come from, I'd say, a little bit behind in the last few years to start building powerfully exciting coasters. So good stuff, and we will get out to try Plopsaland's Finest at some point. We haven't been on it, have we? Ride to Happiness. Everyone says it might be number 1. Yeah. We've got to get there, but it's really awkward when you live in Edinburgh.
Anyway, what is your number 1?
My number 1's the best coaster I've been on. I can't imagine it changing very quickly unless we ever get out to Zadra or over to the States. My number 1's Taron. Which is another Intamin Blitz coaster, sister to Tutatis, but you don't have Taron in your top 10. I find that crazy. Taron is so fast. Those 2 launches, the sound of the second launch going off when you're in the area, the theming of that Nordic rock face, the look of the Coaster Zero car, like the seeing it and riding it up the waterfall against the flow of the water. And it doesn't even go upside down. There are so many points where it feels like it's trying to kill you. It's amazing. You have to go on Taron. I don't understand why it's not everyone's number 1. It's not even, like, I love Hyperia, but it's not close to Taron for me. Baz?
Well, the thing is, I haven't been on it in so long and I can't really remember it, so I need to go on it again to actually...
It was 2.5 years ago. When you're old, that feels like quite recent, but when you're this guy's age, it feels like forever. So, yeah, maybe we need to squeeze in a trip to Fantasyland. I could quite enjoy going for Christmas next year, Baz. I'd love to try that Winter Tron, Winter Dream experience, getting some shows, go on Taron, go on Taron, go on Taron, go on Fly, go on Black Mamba, go on Colorado, go on Taron. Just go on Taron, basically. It'd be really good to rinse it.
Yeah.
So, those are our top 10s. Did you enjoy them, Baz?
Yeah.
It's nice thinking back on those things you've done and sharing them with other people. And thank you all for the support of the channel in 2024. I know it's been 2025 a few weeks now, but the channel has been a lot of fun going back and forth with people. We've had a few chats on there this year. It's, you know, we're never aiming to be some big channel. Good to just share in this enthusiasm, in this hobby. And there's a few of you that comment all the time, Family Day Trippers and Pete, you know who you are, the people who comment all the time. Thank you. It's always good to be hearing from you guys. And just the more people we hear from, the more fun we can be having. And that's what we want. And if you see us in a park, say hi. We try and remember to carry our stickers around, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we've got a sticker, we'll give you a sticker. We've given some out of Chessington this year. But yeah, more important than anything else, just it's nice to say hi. So come and say hi. Yeah. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a good plan.
Looking forward to 2025?
Yep, going to be a great year for coasters.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you too much about what we're doing yet, but we've got another wing coaster coming up, so that might give you a clue. Can you guess where we might be going this year? Have a guess if you like in the comments. But we will see you soon, and it's been a joy, and we have been...
Rollercoasters and...
Coaster Dad.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
And see you next time.